All right. This is a little bit late for this week's episode because technically this is the next week, which is the last week of the year, but I got good reason. I was traveling and I was coming back from where I was and I binged the entirety of season 2 of Squid Game. Now, y'all, I didn't watch the first season. I was too committed to Alice in Borderlands and Sweet Home. So I just didn't have the time emotionally to be able to do this. But when we found out that T.O.P would be in this and that he would be limited from promotions, I was deeply invested. So I did a real quick recap of everything, found out what I needed to know, things that I didn't already know from conversations. And then I binged it. I got a bedtime. I usually adhere to said bedtime, but I binged it all overnight, got on a plane, did what I had to do, got back on the plane, went to sleep, had a dream, and I woke up and the person beside me in the plane, it was dark and they were fully hooded and I thought I had been kidnapped. I had heard the sound and everything. It was completely horrifying. I thought I was about to be abducted and put in the game and my ass is not going to win. I'm not going to win the games. I don't even have it in me to win the game. But let's get into this. Yes, this episode to conclude 2024 is entitled The Hastily Attempted Nullification of Sunghyun Choi. Thanos. Okay, all right. Let's get to talking about this. If you are looking for no spoilers whatsoever about Squid Game season 2, then I strongly suggest you go ahead and hop on off right now. I'm going to do my best to not share that many, but if you don't want anything and you want to go in psychologically butt naked, then you want to leave this. Give you a couple moments. Let me get some water. All right. We're not going to talk about the amount of money that was put into this show the first time the director did not actually see all of. We are not going to speak about the other characters in the show, albeit there are some very interesting things that are going on. But what we will do is talk about a person who is portraying a character that is a gross exaggeration of what some in his nation perceive him to be. In 2017 through 2019, it was an exceptionally difficult on a public scale time in T.O.P.'s life. And I'm going to flip-flop between saying his name Americanized, Sunghyun Choi, or Choi Sunghyun versus Choi. We've talked about this before, but if you're new to me, hi. And his character, Thanos, or referring to him as T.O.P. During that time, it was the time for him to go ahead and do his mandatory military service. And there was a little raggedy ass. There was a woman who at the time felt that it was the perfect time to reveal what she knew about various scandals, both real and perceived. And he happened to be a part of one of those revelatory comments. He smoked marijuana. In South Korea, that is extremely illegal. He did not run from the prosecution of it, or the persecution, for lack of better terms, not immediately at first. What he did do is process the heaviness of years in the spotlight. His career was increasing. Not only had he been a part of one of the most influential and charismatic groups in all of South Korean pop music, he had been on TV and or film since 2008, developing a career as a bona fide actor. A very good one at that. One who dies a little too frequently and stuff for my liking. He had been working on all of that and everything was about to come crumbling down. So his plan of action was to unalive himself, which he was almost successful with in June of 2017. It was a very frightening time for someone that I don't know personally, but cared deeply about. Now, these relationships that we establish with these entertainers and whatnot, they're not always ones that have reciprocity involved in an intimate level. So who I know him to be, who we know him to be, what he presents of his personal side is a person who is introverted, contemplative, silly when amongst those he cares about, but very careful about his actions, very determined in his actions. And that too has to be accepted as something that he was determined to accomplish. It did not work. He served his time probationarily. I was still in South Korea when he came out of service, and he privately announced to his fan base where he would be, and he individually thanked everyone who was in attendance for not only being there to see him return to society, but to see him alive. Oh man, that's really intense. He was really going to kill himself. Okay. That aside, as he reacclimated himself to being in society and withdrawing from his group and trying to get to the moon, trying to work on new music and releasing some wine that I still can't get my hands on. I don't understand what the difficulty is. In the process of all of that, he was made out to be a severe druggie and a lot of other negative things that once Squid Game 2 was announced and he was only featured in one promotional image, the media was already against him. Not internationally, so to speak, on a wide range, but there were English-speaking media outlets as well as South Korean outlets that were like, oh, this is a problem. Why would you pick him? And when the show debuted on December 26, 2024, within 5 minutes of the episodes being live, there were already reports of how his performance was underwhelming and things of that sort. Now, I know that some have looked on Phony Stark's website, X, and have seen things of people fighting back with this, saying, you know, he's not until episode so-and-so, so-and-so. How y'all already got these opinions? In journalism, in media writing, you are often contacted in advance if you're at a reputable enough outlet where they will allow you to be able to see things in advance and develop opinions that you must sign off on not releasing until a certain time. Usually this is an NDA, non-disclosure agreement. So there is probability that some of these show episodes have already been seen by those who need to write about it. But the attempt of saying that he was underwhelming and whatnot helped me understand this. This is a person who got in global trouble for smoking weed that some have a serious issue with, some do not. I'm in a gray area in the in between. I have different opinions about it, but those opinions do not negate the fact that when you live, eat, breathe, and earn your income in a nation that does not fool with that on a legal basis, you don't risk it. So I'm not applauding him stepping up when he had no choice, nor am I trying to make an excuse for what he did. But what I'm pointing out conscientiously, is that you already think this shit about him, so why not do a table read, do the audition to assume the role of a washed up rapper who put his money in crypto, failed, happens to be placed in a game with the person who he would like to project the loss on versus taking it on his own. Because come on now, anything involving investments, it's volatile. You can't get around it. And be the druggie that y'all assume him to be. Why not be the only one who is doing the choreography to bang, bang, bang on a carousel while everybody else is fearing the inevitability of death right down the barrel? Why not be the person who is flirting with women and taking pictures with fans and changing in between English and South Korean, Hangul, and being just ridiculous and egomaniacal and annoying AF in the entire show, so that people can look at it and go, oh my gosh, this is so underwhelming, or oh my goodness, like this is ridiculous. Why did they? Because that's what y'all think. So if this is what you think, let me give you what you think so you can look at me in an appropriate light. He wasn't just selected for this. He was sought out for the opportunity. He met and exceeded the call. There is no promo that he's involved in. But all of us, the Hallyu fan base, VIPs, the exclusive name to the Big Bang fans, we're doing all of the grunt work. And it's proving that he was the right choice. It's proving that the controversy of him being a part of anything will still take hold and make it enough where you're going to keep showing up to be pissed off at him. Because you already are, or you were, or now you'll get the hell over it. One of the three. Because the TLDR of all of this is he gave y'all exactly what y'all expecting. He did it well because he's a performer. He's an entertainer, and he's still collecting the bag. Bitch, what you gonna do? What can you do? What can you do? The moment in the show where they all take a photo and he rolls his shoulders back, that's sliding off the stress of the past few years. Makes the face, I'm giving you what you want, and flips double birds, all y'all. And I say it with confidence that I'm still going to reign supreme in anything that I aspire towards. Yes, I have bumped around with things happening. Yes, this could be the only thing I do for a moment. But I'm here, ho. And y'all gonna cut the check. You gonna cut the check. As many people who show up to be angry or stop watching it because they're frustrated, the check is already clearing, my guy. It's already clearing. So I'm pleased. I hate that it was an attempt to try to diminish the efforts of someone who is trying their very hardest to move forward in life, in career opportunities, in artistic expression. I know that I live in a nation full of dumbasses who are very forgiving of ridiculous stuff, but this is not about any of that. This is about the fact that a person has presented themselves extremely resilient, nails polished in all infinity stone colors, to show that he can still clench it and snap and make things different. And y'all fell for it. Y'all fell for it. Give my man the money. Give me the loot, baby. Give it to him. Give it to him. I'll give it 8 months before we see him in something else again. This is a new era. I'm excited we're here to see it. And I want to know what your opinions are in the comments. Yes, he's my bias. He's my ultimate bias. But he's still human. And some things you can come back from. But sometimes in order to do it, you got to get it out the mud. Or, maybe out the bloodshed around you that might splatter on your number 230 jersey. I don't know. Your sweatsuit, your tracksuit. I don't know. But that's all I had to say. That's all I was thinking. That's it. That's it. He fine as hell. Even in his raggediness of this, he's still handsome as hell. She'll love it. And she did. Bye, y'all.